it's either going to be a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick or in round 2, or the thing that I was reminded of over the weekend after I foolishly made the assumption that the Giants are out of the veteran quarterback chase. They're still in play for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So it could be Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito on the depth chart in New York by the time it's all said and done. And it's still not impossible that they'll sign Aaron Rodgers. It's unlikely at this point, I'm told, but it's not impossible.
No, I don't expect that to happen. I wouldn't expect Rodgers to pick the Giants unless something crazy happened altogether. Russell Wilson in play, as we talked about last week, it doesn't really excite me. Yeah, he's more trustworthy than Jameis Winston as a quarterback. He's not going to turn the ball over and do that. But it's like they are literally Jekyll and Hyde. They're the opposite guy. One guy is like, hey, Jameis is going to be aggressive and make plays, and he might make mistakes. And Russell's going to really not make a ton of plays unless it's a go ball down the right sideline or the left sideline. But he's going to keep you in the game by not making bad plays happen a whole lot, and he's going to play conservative that way. That's why I told you last week, Russell Wilson as the Giants quarterback is I don't really want to see it. I'm sorry. I'd rather have Jameis Winston. But if they go the Russell Wilson thing, that to me would, I feel like, I want to say almost close the door on drafting a quarterback, or at least one at the top of the draft. I would think with that type of move with Russell Wilson. Now, all right, we got Russell, we got Jameis. Damn, we're not going to throw Shedeur Sanders in the mix here too, are we? I don't feel like that would be the move. If it just stays Jameis, I could see then, okay, maybe the other quarterback, the rookie, whether it's Shedeur or Blaine Gabbert or whoever being thrown into the mix at some point, depending on where they want to take him at number 3, or if they want to trade down a little bit, or if they want to do it at the top of the second round. But that's what I find kind of intriguing, and I have really no feel as far as what the Giants are going to do there. I haven't heard inklings or anything, so I don't know what their plan of attack is as of right now.
What's going to be interesting is the guarantee in Jameis Winston's contract, because all I think we've seen is 2 years, $8 million, with the opportunity to earn another $8 million or so over the next 2 years.
And that's what they did to him, to me, it looks like, right? They squeezed him. He's a guy that wants to play, and he went, okay, I'll take this, because they're saying, hey, at least you might come here and you'll have a chance to compete. We don't know what's exactly going to happen, but if it's Russell Wilson, he's not just going to be slam dunk starter. And if it's rookie quarterback we draft, you might be able to be the guy that starts off the season. You play good, you keep it going. So I think that's another thing you can probably use in their favor to put a little pressure on Jameis, because I don't think there's a whole lot of options out there that kind of entail the things we just talked about there, at least what I said.
Well, and here's why I think the guarantee is important. The guarantee guarantees a roster spot.
Yeah.
So if there isn't significant guaranteed money, and the Giants would be willing to potentially eat whatever that guaranteed money is on the 2-year, $8 million deal, he might be in jeopardy of losing his spot once they have their final contestants for the 3 spots.
Right.
Or 2+1.
Right. Things worked out a little different. We got this guy. We didn't know he was going to be here, and all of a sudden we have too many quarterbacks. And we don't owe you much guaranteed money, so what? We'll just pay you, get out of here, you're cut, right?
Well, and it works into the whole cloak and dagger game of the draft. If they would add a Russell Wilson. So going into the draft, they've got Wilson and Winston and DeVito.
Yeah.
You're not going to be thinking the Giants are looking at a quarterback, which means teams are going to be less inclined to try to jump the Giants in round 2 if that's their target range for a quarterback. You don't have to worry about that, because people are going to say, oh, they're not taking a quarterback. Yeah. We don't need to get in front of the Giants. Right. And then, boom, they take a quarterback. And then they got one too many, and they'll deal with that problem when it comes. But that's why I think the guarantee is going to be important, because it gives you an idea of how safe Winston is as he walks through the door. And think about the personality difference. We talked about Daniel Jones versus Jameis Winston. Think about having Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in the same building. I know the Giants will never do anything related to Hard Knocks ever again after last year's debacle.
Scarred. They're scarred forever.
But couldn't we do the quarterback series, which is coming back this year? Couldn't we just do, it'll save money for NFL Films. You just do Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Just do both of them. Let's see the Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston experience, because one guy is incredibly authentic, and one guy, the perception is in most locker rooms that he's been in, he's incredibly not authentic. So that would be a hell of a contrast between Russ and Jameis if it came to that. I don't know that that's where I don't know that's where Russell Wilson's going to want to go because, I mean, does that rub him the wrong way? Does the way Jameis just kind of is over the top and in your face and does it infringe upon Russell Wilson's ability to be the guy in charge of the team? I don't know. I don't know the answer to those questions, but having Jameis Winston there definitely will be a factor that Russell Wilson takes into consideration if the Giants decide that they do want to try to sign him. But the bottom line is they're not out of play for a veteran. They're definitely not out of play for a rookie. The contract screamed bridge quarterback to me, not first step toward another veteran, but I think everything is still on the table for the Giants.
It seems that way. And, I mean, let's put ourselves in their shoes a little bit. Right? If you're Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, where this is maybe the end of your career here this year, it's do or die. Do you think they're going to put everything or all in on Jameis Winston being the starter and then go with, try to find a rookie somewhere in the draft? Or are they going to feel more warm and cozy about, well, it's Russell Wilson. It's a little bit more of a brand name. He did play playoff football last year, right? It does make you feel a little like a guy like me. Of course, I want to see Jameis Winston and all that. But if I was a head coach and Brian Daboll, I'd go, man, I don't know if I want to put my career on Jameis Winston's shoulders and trust him totally there. Right, so the more you talk about it and think about it there, bridge quarterback, no doubt, and I feel like probably veteran quarterback will come in as well. And I think it could be both, Mike, to what you're saying here. Because I just don't know if they can really, really go, last year, Jameis Winston, yeah, we're going to roll with that. And we'll see where it goes. I got to think there's going to be another move to have a little bit of more insurance there in New York.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.